Joe Buffalino. Joe, how are you doing today?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Joe is the son of Angelo Buffalino from Pittston, Pennsylvania, who is also close with Russell Buffalino. And been trying to set this up for quite some time, Joe. So it's great, though, to finally get together. And we'd love, though, to hear your truth on
Absolutely.
Everything that's been said out there. There's a lot of books out there written on Russ. And Billy D'Elia came out with a new book, too. I see your father's mentioned in it and a bunch of other stuff like that. But let's just start it off from, where you're from, and we'll take it from there.
Born and raised in Pittston, Pennsylvania, but he's still here.
How was it? Describe how it was growing up in Pittston.
That was a good time. Down the pool room, hanging out, playing ball in the middle of the street, going to friends' houses and stuff. Doors were always open. Now you're afraid to walk down the street. A big difference.
As I know, I always say if someone knocks on the door, you got to get the gun to see who's out there these days.
Absolutely. Well, everybody has a camera now, so you can see who's knocking.
How was your childhood, would you say?
Oh, I had a great childhood. I had a good time. A lot of friends,
It's very close, family oriented.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So I want to talk a little bit, Joe, about obviously it's no secret out there. The name Buffalino is synonymous with organized crime and the true crime genre. Right. For you, when you were growing up, were you able to notice anything different at all about how?
Yeah. Not really. I had a normal childhood, normal life,
You never noticed, because someone wrote in a question, you never noticed, anyone, you wouldn't be treated different because your last name, or if someone knew of your last name?
Absolutely not. Treated just like everybody else.
Okay, interesting. So you could just basically say you had a great childhood, Pittston, safe area.
Absolutely, it was.
Now your father, Angelo, he was very close with who we're going to be talking about here, Russell Buffalino.
Yes, he was.
And you knew Russ.
Yes, I did.
Explain for the people what type of man Russ was.
He was a quiet man. He basically kept to himself. If he had something to say, he said it to you, And he liked to help people. Yeah. From what I understood about, what I seen. He liked to help people. He had a couple of businesses around here. He employed quite a bit of people, and he was helpful to the community. Other than what everybody else thinks, but that's how I seen him.
And from the paperwork I gathered, he was in a couple businesses with your father.
Absolutely.
And he had Penn Drape.
Right.
That's now where the Christopher Columbus statue's at. That was portrayed in The Irishman. Right. The Penn Drape area. And then I believe there's another one. What was the name of the place down the road?
ABS Contracting.
Okay.
That used to be, I believe it was Barbara Ford's old building on Oak Street by St. Rocco's Church there.
Okay.
That was ABS Contracting.
Yeah, I remember St. Rocco's. They used to always beat us in basketball, those bastards. Pittston had a good team growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he was so your father, though, was he's Russ's cousin, but he was also, he's been with Russ since, what would you say, the 50s?
Oh, absolutely.
40s at that, because Santo Volpe, the king of the night, they call him, he died in 49. And then they say, after he passed, then you had Joe Barbera, who ended up going up to New York. Right. And that's where the Appalachian meeting was, that Russ ended up setting up. But then since it's already out there in the paperwork, it seems like Russell, though, took over, the family around here.
I believe so.
And he was in charge.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Right. That's what they say.
That's what they say. They tried deporting him. They tried, doing everything that they can. This whole story that's going on. And people are just going to naturally want me, to just ask this. But you don't know anything about Jimmy Hoffa, do you?
No.
Jimmy Hoffa ain't underneath one of these roads over here, right?
I don't think so. Maybe he's up on my house. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got 3 acres up in Falls, so he might be up there.
There you go.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Get the fence up there digging, right?
Yeah, this way they can landscape my lots for me there.
The Buffalino family, though, is just very interesting because it's different. When you look at the family tree, as the people see here, it had Russell, it had a consigliere, Eddie Chiandra, the underboss, Dave Estico, and then it had its soldiers like William D'Elia, your father, Angelo Buffalino, That's what the FBI was alleging to. What, who was in charge? And we're going to still talk about Russ, but when Russ passed, who took over?
Eddie Chandra.
Eddie Chandra was the boss after
Right.
Russ. Because a lot of people have this
misconception. After Russ went to jail, Eddie was in charge.
Okay. Now, these letters, though, that I have here, though, from Frank Sheeran.
Right.
He wasn't talking about taking over the family boss to your father. He just wanted everything to go through your father.
Right.
When he was in prison. Because as you could see here, it says clear as day that the big guy wants everything ran through you. And this was Frank Sheeran writing to your father, Angelo.
Right.
So that wasn't Angelo to run the family. That was more just information and little business stuff that's going on.
Right.
Got it.
Right. That's what that was.
Okay. Did you read the book, Billy D'Elia's book?
Yeah, I read some of it.
What'd you think?
It's a crock of shit, just like him.
Oh, okay. Now, there is a part in it that I didn't quite understand, because if you look at this video footage here that we're showing, they seemed real close back in the day. Angelo and Billy.
They were close. No doubt about that. But you see what happens when somebody starts talking. Yeah. Nobody wants to be bothered with you.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And then he has the balls to say, my father's a adult of a man. He couldn't shine my father's shoes. He don't have half the brain my father has.
Well, there's a picture in the book with him and Angelo.
Right.
And, I always look at the pictures before I read a book. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. This and that. And with the pictures that you're letting me hold on to for the channel, I noticed they seem real close at that time. This is back in 1971.
Yeah, they definitely were close. No doubt about it.
Yeah, because when the Civil Rights League was going on in 1971, well, 71's when Columbo was killed. I believe it started in 70. When your father was vice president of Chapter 34.
Right.
Billy D'Elia was the treasurer.
Right.
And who was the president?
Louis Batera.
Right. And that's the picture right here that with all them standing in front right there. And we have a bunch of video files. A great channel out there called Mob Facts has a lot of video files of Russ. And, he's getting in the car with Angelo.
Right.
And then they show footage of Angelo walking with Billy. So you're saying that they were definitely extremely close at that time at the Christmas party, which I want to talk to you about in a second. But Billy and Angelo were definitely close. But are you saying because of Angelo's cooperation, that's when everything kind of just went astray?
You mean with Billy's cooperation?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
My father never cooperated with it.
No, absolutely not. Your father actually he went on trial for 47 race fixing scams. And it says here that not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing.
Didn't do nothing.
That's it.
So my apologies on there. So what do you think with Billy's cooperation, is that what kind of set everything different?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe it did.
Okay. And why do you think, though, he would call your father adult of a man if they were so close?
Yeah. Well, who knows? He must have thought my father was stupid, but I guess he wasn't as stupid as he thought he was. My father died at home in his own bed, not in prison, and he didn't get shot. So how many guys did that?
And right there, right behind you, the man next to him, Russell, same thing.
He died out.
That's rare in this life.
Absolutely. So my father couldn't have been too stupid.
Yeah. No, I know.
But you could talk to anybody in Pittston that knew him or anywhere else. They'll tell you what a man he was. He was a man's man.
I haven't heard a bad word about Angelo to everyone I talk to. And I try to be impartial because, I'm just trying to do I'm not a journalist, but how journalists just present the story.
Right.
I try to be impartial, and everyone I talk to, that's all they keep saying is that Angelo was a man's man, great man.
Right.
Don't have a bad thing to say about him. And the only thing that I did say, though, that was bad, that I saw that was bad about Angelo was in the book, the Billy's book.
Right.
So, and it was just that word. So it kind of makes you think, why did you have to throw that word in there? You could have just said Angelo Buffalino, because he was on Michael Francese's show. I don't know if you've seen that. And he was being interviewed with Michael, and he was like, yeah, me and Angelo were at the Copacabana together. And he was being all nice then, but this was after.
Nice, right.
This was after, though, the book was written.
Right. If he didn't think my father was stupid, why didn't he take it out of the book?
Yeah.
he left it in the book, so he must have read the book before they published it.
This concludes the sneak peek interview, part 1, with Mr. Joe Buffalino, setting the record straight, the true story behind the Irishman. Stay tuned for part 2 next week, and follow the official Buffalino family page on Instagram for the rest. Have a great week, everyone.
And I'll show you where the trestle was, and all the bullet holes were in there.
So Railroad Street, though, had a lot of.
There was more murders there.
I think they say that was that on what year? What was that, like Prohibition days? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right here in Pittston.
Because my father was, if he was in the carriage, he was born in 1930, so it had to have been 30 or 31 or 32. You know?
And they said get in the house.
Get in the house. Yeah, and I forget they shot somebody there. But look up Campbell and Riley. They were union organizers for the mine. They shot them where I lived.
Okay.
In the building there.
We have the deed for the property.
I have the property deed. It was on Russ's name when he transferred it to my father.
Yeah, I got that for you.
Is that in
Yeah,
there?
yeah. With Russell's name, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Is that the one on Railroad Street?
Yeah, I think. Well, Railroad or Pine. Is there two of them?
Railroad. It was Railroad. Then they changed it to Columbus Avenue. Pine Street. My father bought that.
Okay, because I think there's. You know what though? It was Pine Street though, because that's where he already was at. But I believe it was the Railroad Street. It's a deed.
It's a deed. It was on Russ's name. Then he gave it to my father.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was Railroad Street was wild back in the Prohibition days.
I don't know who was not Walter Cronkite, one of them guys. They said if you ever want to kill anybody, take them to Railroad Street in Pittston. The lights go out, the shades go down. Was it Walter Cronkite? One of them old broadcasters. I forget who it was. Well, not Walter Cronkite.
That was wild.
What the frig was his name? I can't think of his name now.
I don't know.
One of them old broadcasters. Yeah, if you want to kill anybody, take them to Railroad Street in Pittston.
Yeah.
Lights go out, shades go down.
Speaking of broadcasters, well, he's more a journalist for a room. What do you think of Corbett?
I like him.
Yeah. He's like the
I
outlaw.
like to meet him.
Yeah, he had balls.
Oh, he got big balls. He went right to Russ's house, knocked on the door. I couldn't wait for his show to come on. And today we're talking about Billy the Rat D'Elia. He used to start the show out like that.
Yeah, Steve Corbett.
The Steve Corbett show. I used to get the biggest kick out of that.
Yeah, no, definitely though.
Billy the Rat D'Elia.
Yeah, no, Steve's he's a real one though when it comes to the journalism. I mean, he'll.
Oh, he jumps right in.
Yeah, he's not afraid of nobody.
Yeah.
And I respect that though. But yeah, that's Railroad Street that's the street that they're like,
Walter Windshield. That's who it was. Walter Windshield. He's the one who said, if you ever want to kill anybody, take them to Railroad Street in Pittston. That's the place.
Well, that's good to know. All right, I'll keep that in mind. No, I'm just kidding. These days with the cameras and the phones, you can't even punch someone these days.
But that Camel O'Reilly, I believe they shot him. I think they were union organizers for the mines.
Okay.
They shot them there right where I lived on Railroad Street there. Right in the yard there. There was a lot of people shot at Railroad Street.
My aunt was on the bus going to the Pittston Hospital.
They threw the body on the bus.
They threw the guy on the bus. He was all full of blood. They just opened the door.
It was like the friggin' Wild West there.
They didn't know but they threw him on the bus and he was all full of blood. They had to take him up to the Pittston Hospital.
So, Joe, when you were a little kid, though, you went for a ride, though, with your father. So that's why when I was asking anything different, tell me that story.
Oh, geez, I don't think I was 5 years old. I went for a ride. He had to bring something out to us out to New York. And I forget where it was. If it was Johnny's restaurant or the Vesuvio restaurant. He ran in with something, and I was sitting in the car waiting for him. And all you see these guys come walking in with the big fedoras on and the overcoats.
Yeah.
But you're 5 years old. What the hell? You don't think about nothing.
Exactly.
Now when it comes back to you,
yes.
Say, wow, I wonder who them guys were.
So then you're, you know what though? Because because when you're just born, you don't know what's going on. You're following your family, you're doing whatever, but it probably took a while, the aftermath of when you look back on it now and you're like, oh, okay.
I could tell you one thing. If I had a list of every job I applied for and I got told the same thing, well, you're a Buffalino. What do you need the money for? What was I supposed to do? We didn't have a tree in the backyard, when the money come off.
Yeah.
It had to work.
Yeah. So then you did, in a way, then get treated then a little different.
A little different as I got older,
So they just thought that you were a Buffalino that you didn't need to work.
Right. Yeah. It said my father had a tree in the backyard, used to grow $10 bills.
Yeah, right. And so maybe he had some buried in the backyard. No, I'm kidding.
I wish he did. I'd dig the yard up.
Right? Well, there's a Jimmy down there. No, I'm kidding.
I said he's up my house in Falls.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah. So, but then
you want to know? I'll give you a good story. I lived on Columbus Avenue, Railroad Street, Pittston.
Okay.
It was Russ's building, and there was 3 apartments there. And I lived downstairs. My grandfather lived maybe 4 doors up the street from me, and he'd come down, and he didn't speak too much English. My grandfather, I was, Italian. He had me digging up the freaking backyard there for a week. I said, Pop, what? There was a still back there. He wanted the copper. I worked my ass off digging up that. I never found it.
You wanted the copper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, that used to be where that building was. That was the Buffalino Soda Factory.
Okay.
It was on Railroad Street in Pittston.
All right.
But apparently they had it still there. But my grandfather remembered that friggin' copper vat. He wanted me to dig it up, but apparently they took it, But we put a couple holes in the yard.
And then what about, you were telling me about who was the relative, we were at your father's grave, and you were telling me about the one relative who came in. He's like, I'm like a king over there. I come here, and then they got me.
That was my great-grandfather.
Okay.
My great-grandfather. Yeah, he was over in Sicily. He came over here right away. Well, because they had the sulfur mines over there. They figure, okay, these guys are all miners. We're going to throw them in a hole over here. I don't think he stood here a week and got the hell out of here. He went back to Sicily. But I'm like a king over there. I'm going to come here and kill myself.
Right.
And he didn't last long. Here.
Explain to me who's in this picture here that I'm showing now.
That's Russ standing by the door. My grandfather and John Chandra. And on the other side is my grandmother and Josephine Chandra, John's wife. That's at Russ's house in Kingston.
That's the house over in Kingston.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great picture.
Yeah.
And look how they used to dress back in the day with the fedora.
They dressed like that just to go down the street.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You ever see the old school baseball games too? You watch old school baseball games, You look in the crowd, everyone's dressed.
Everybody had a suit on.
Yeah. I heard it was James Dean that changed that once the movies came out and he had the T-shirt on and all that. People, because I heard it was almost like illegal to wear T-shirts and stuff like that in a way. But I like, though, that old school dressing in a suit.
Absolutely.
Was it that way even 90 degrees out? People always in a
suit?
Yeah.
There was right down the street from where I lived was the Montadoro Society.
Okay.
It's about a block down the street. And all the old guys would walk down and they all had their suits on. And, it was something. It was a better day than today, that's for sure.
What was the one story you told me with the pool hall? The guy, though, who had the fist that clacked open the guy's, what do you call it? Remember you said he punched him so hard, though, that who's that? No, see, Joe won't tell any stories, even if people
I'll tell you one story about when I went in the club. My grandfather always just give me a candy or a soda or something, right?
Yeah. I
went in there one day, and there was a nickel bounced off every wall of the ceiling of the place. Just a nickel.
Yeah.
Nice pop, but, somebody called somebody a cheater. And that's what it was all about. You better, because they were playing cards. Yeah. So that nickel went flying all over. So not like today. Today, excuse my language, you call somebody a cocksucker, you call them this, that. If you call somebody a cocksucker back there, you better make sure you see them with a dick in their mouth or you were a dead man.
Total different mentality.
Big difference. Big difference.
It seems like the respect factor back then was different. It seems like these days, though, we're losing all respect. Where it's more like, especially with this internet age, Joe. Like
these kids they don't get off their ass. They stay on them damn phones and shit.
Yeah,
they don't even go out of the house.
Yeah,
so they don't know what the word respect means.
Yeah, all that. And the way that Russ and your father were, I mean, no one cooperated in that family.
No,
until.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only. I mean, Dave Estico, no way.
No.
He's a tough guy. What I hear about Dave, though, tough one. And a lot of people, though, are on the fence with Frank because of the Hoffett thing. But I think Frank I'll tell you my theory and let me know if I'm close. I think that Frank could have possibly been out there to keep Jimmy comfortable. And they wanted Jimmy gone years prior, but they didn't do nothing because, I don't know if you'll admit this, but this is what the paperwork says, because Russ... They didn't touch Jimmy until Russ said, okay, enough is enough.
That's what I think, too.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. You had enough chances. Keep your mouth shut. And go about your business, and he didn't want to. He wanted to run it his way, and that's what he got.